Hare Krishna. Good morning, everyone. So today is wonderful morning, Wednesday. It's nice weather outside, and we are very fortunate to get a chance to read about Srila Prabhupada. So we are reading today morning from a transcendental diary, Travels with His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and this was recorded in the year 1976 from October to November by Hari Das. So Srila Prabhupada is in Vrindavan Dham, and the conversation goes on like this. Repeating that God's arrangements through nature are unavoidable, Prabhupada invited Dr. Knoiper to cooperate with him. So all philosophers, all scientists, all politicians, let us combine together. The formula is there. Again referencing the Gita, Prabhupada went on to explain that the way to deal with nature is to follow the prescribed duties given by Krishna. He had me read out the verses detailing the qualities and duties of the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, adding comments where appropriate. He told his guests that if we advocate these ideal standards, such as truthfulness, people will simply laugh at us. People will say, can anyone exist nowadays simply becoming truthful? Question mark. Then Damaha, self-controlled. If I say, come here, I shall teach you how to control your senses, he will laugh that, what is this nonsense? What is this nonsense? We shall enjoy life and shall control senses. So people will say like this, Prabhupada says, this is the description, and then Prabhupada quotes. So this is the description of the first class man, Samodamas titikshar java saralata, simplicity. No one is prepared to become first class men. They will laugh. These are all primitive ideas. Yeah. So Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that it's a simple rule. If we abide by the rules of the government, then the government also favors us with so many wonderful facilities. It's the same way when we abide by the laws of nature, which is the laws of Krishna actually, because Krishna has designed this material world. So Krishna is a lawmaker. It is very simple. If we abide by the laws of Krishna, then Krishna will also facilitate us with so many wonderful things, yeah, or so many wonders. So it's the same way. Prabhupada is quoting here that if there are some problem in the nature, or if the nature is creating some troubles for us, that means we are troubling nature. Yeah. It's a resultant reaction of the nature, because Krishna is very merciful. Krishna wants to see all his children very happy and peacefully satisfied. It's only us who are mischievous and rebellious, so we only initiate the rebel. And when we start doing mischief, then Krishna, just like a merciful mother and a caretaking father, he chastises us or corrects us. And then there are different ways. Just like Prabhupada mentions that there is individual karma and there is collective karma. I forgot to ask, is everyone comfortable with English here? Okay. Is everyone able to hear me? Yeah? Okay.
You can say individual karma and the other karma. Say individual karma and the other karma.
Collective karma. Yes. So there are two karmas. One is called individual karma and one is called collective karma. Would someone like to give example from both these categories?
Okay, collective karma is an example of collective karma is like when there's an earthquake and it's in a certain city, and everybody there is collectively suffering the results of the earthquake, and that's their collective karma. Individual karma is being something like a person applies for a job and they don't get it or they do get it. That is their individual karma.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. Such a clear-cut example, wonderful example. Thank you, Prabhu. So we see that when something happens, for example, Prabhuji said earthquake, yeah, or Titanic sank. Everyone in the Titanic, mostly. So, or maybe I remember when I was a small child, so there was an earthquake and the building started moving, but it was first time in my life. I could not understand what's going on wrong. Then people started running outside. So, but then later came to know the news that so many people died. I mean, the building fell down, old buildings, and many people left their bodies. So that's collective karma. Yeah, that many people were supposed to suffer, and then Krishna arranges through nature that they all get rid of their karma. So they get such a problem actually. Simple. Prabhupada says that if you want to avoid such things, then we should abide by the laws of Krishna. Yeah. How to understand? What are the laws of Krishna? Simple. It's mentioned here that Krishna has given duties for everyone as per their varna and ashrama. So we just follow the duties. If we want more details about all the respective duties of all the different varnas and ashramas, then we should read Srimad Bhagavatam. It details everything very nicely. And Prabhupada is describing here on the two principles. First is truthfulness and second is simplicity. Yeah, which is very difficult nowadays because people are so from the four principles of Daya, Sauchyam, Tapa and Satyam. Yeah, there are these four principles based on which Prabhupada gave us four regulative principles: compassion, truthfulness, non-violence, that is compassion, truthfulness, cleanliness and austerity. So these fours were compared to the four legs of the bull who was being damaged by Kali, you know. So Kali was damaging the bull and the three legs were destroyed already. So the bull was trembling and he was standing on the last leg, and the last leg was so weak that the bull was somehow shaking, So Prabhupada says that, or the Vaishnavas commented actually, that this last leg represented truthfulness. So in Kali Yuga, we see that cleanliness is gone completely. Yeah, hardly we see someone who is clean internally, externally, of course, but internally very important. Austerity is gone. Yeah, compassion is gone. The only thing that we could see a bit in Kali Yuga is that truthfulness, but that is also wavering, So that was the fourth leg, and Prabhupada is mentioning here. People will say, can anyone exist nowadays simply becoming truthful? It's just like if someone wants to be truthful, then the result is then people will exploit him. So that's how it works nowadays in Kali Yuga, and that's why people have also stopped becoming truthful nowadays. Yeah. Please, seniors, please comment on this. Dharamataji.
What about a Vaishya who has to cheat to survive?
Yeah.
In the 8th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, I forget which chapter it is, but at the end of the chapter, the last verse, this is Bali Maharaj, he's speaking with Sukracharya, and Sukracharya is telling him, Vamanadev is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And if you give him what you said, you would give him anything, he will take everything you have. And Sukracharya then explains, there are certain instances when a person can lie. And one of them is in carrying out their occupation. So Prabhupada also explains in Bhakti to the Godhead magazine, a previous version of the Bhakti to the Godhead magazine that was released in India before he came to the United States. He talks about this point of truthfulness. And he says that, of course, everybody has to act according to their varna. And he says, for example, a shopkeeper cannot, has to lie a little bit. Like they say that their product is the best product. And he also elaborates on this in one of his purports in the Bhagavad Gita, I think. He says, they cannot avoid saying, they have to say, well, my product is the best product. And of course, that's a lie. Right? I'll give you the best deal. I'll make no profit. This is the example he gives. He goes, I make no profit. Of course, that's not being honest. But this is sort of like they have to do that. But there are certain instances, and if you actually look at it, there's no commentary on this verse in the Bhagavatam. Prabhupada doesn't offer any commentary, but he offers all these examples when a person is allowed to say which is not the truth. And this is an example of Sukracharya. He's laying it out to Bali Maharaj. And it's in the Bhagavatam, but there's no commentary. Yeah, during a wedding, to calm down somebody who is, actually the example is given of a woman who's lost her mind, to calm them down. But anybody who's lost their mind, to calm them down, right? To protect Vedic, the Brahminical culture, to spare somebody from pain of death, right? I don't remember all of them, but at a wedding, during a joke.
Yeah.
There's like 7 or 8 of them. So there's a little bit of gray area there.
Yes, Prabhuji. I can add to the last example of yours, Prabhu. So we see in the pastime in Krishna Lila, we see when Kansa, so Kansa's sister, who is she? Devaki. Yeah, she was getting married. And Kansa, he's a demon, he's such a powerful demon that big demons, Agasur, Putana, they are just like, they're serving, his cactus feet. So he was so powerful. And he himself decided to ride the chariot of the bride and groom. So his sister and his brother-in-law, yeah, who is? Vasudev. Yeah, not Vasudev. Vasudev is Krishna's name and Vasudev is Krishna's father's name. So Kansa was so happy, but then there was this announcement from the heaven, that, fool, what are you doing? That the 8th child of the lady of Devaki will be the cause of her death. And then Kansa became cautious, and then, suddenly he changed. So he just grabbed the hair of Devaki, he wanted to chop off her head, But then Vasudev interfered, just like Prabhuji was mentioning. So Vasudev, he uses some tactics, he glorifies Kamsa. Oh, noble king. And then, and then he starts, there's a big description how he glorifies Kamsa, that he's such a nice person and he should spare the life of Devaki. He should not kill her. And he also promises that he has a problem with the 8th child of Devaki. Then he would come and submit the 8th child of Devaki. Then he could do whatever, but he should not kill Devaki. He should spare her life, And then like this, but then so there's a big pastime. So that is allowed. I mean, it depends for which purpose. But obviously we don't take this at home. So otherwise we all start lying. So ideally we should be truthful. But it is also said at the same time that in front of our authorities, we should be completely transparent. Yeah. And also it is said, my Siksha Guru once told that a successful marriage pillar also lies on transparency and complete transparency, that there has to be 100%, husband should know everything of wife and wife should know everything of husband. Then a trust and relationship builds. It's the same way we say and we narrate everything that's going in our, not only in our external life, but also inside our mind to our authorities. Yeah. Then only they can diagnose us. Just imagine we go to doctor, yeah, and we have so many problems inside. We have pain in heart, we have pain on the left side, and then we are feeling nausea, dizziness and like this. We go to doctor and doctor asks, and how are you? What's the purpose of your visit? And just imagine we don't say anything, or we just say little bit information, for example, pain in left hand. He may understand a sprain or something, he may diagnose us accordingly. So it works both the ways. So we can make use of lie if it is taking us closer to Krishna, or taking others closer to Krishna. And we should be completely truthful in front of our authorities. Thank you everyone. Srila Prabhupada ki. So last 4 days there was a wonderful retreat in Golok Dham, and by the mercy of Vaishnavas we got chance to participate in that retreat, and it was so wonderful. So the theme of that retreat was
immersion in Bhakti or something? Bhakti immersion?
Yes. But evening Maharaj gave a special series of classes, Sachinandan Maharaj gave, and the topic of that was Holi. Now Holi is a festival of colors in India, you see. I was surprised because since last 30 years I knew something else as Holi. What we did in India on the name of Holi, that is disastrous, and Maharaj explained something else contrary to that. So who knows the festival of Holi, by the way? Everyone knows, right? Now who has participated Holi festival in India? Who has seen? Nandu has seen. Anyone? Mataji has seen. But you saw in Vrindavan, Mataji, or still Vrindavan is also good, yeah? Example. So, yeah, externally Vrindavan's Holi is a bit. I mean, in Mumbai, I remember since childhood, the way we played Holi was really terrible, It was so terrible that we went to the extent of dragging our friends into the gutter water.
Oh my God.
So, and we have this small plastic bags in which we fill water, and from the top of the building we throw it on the people who was walking down, And it's not just on the day of Holi, it begins like some days before Holi, it goes some days after Holi. So people like dress like this, they are the first targets. So I thought that is Holi. And I was thinking Holi is man-created, some kind of stupid festival. But after participating in Sachinandan Maharaj's this series, Maharaj explained that Holi is a festival of love. It's a loving exchange between Brajavasis. So how they express the love for each other through the colors, So, and it's a very confidential pastime in Golok Dham between Krishna and Srimati Radharani. Wow. So that changed my, yeah, Prabhuji.
And the motive of the pastime is that everyone in Braja is, and most of the festivals, and everyone thinks in Braja that how to unite Sri Radha and Krishna. That's the loving exchange. So to celebrate that, we celebrate Holi.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Prabhu. So I have become very cautious now. So I have to check all my database of last 30 years, what is correct and what is not correct. And that could be done only by verifying it with senior devotees and my authorities, It's very, very dangerous to assume anything. Assumption works only in engineering field, not in real life. Absolutely not in spiritual life. Prabhupada says nothing happens by chance. Everything has a reason. So never assume. So it's very difficult for engineers to become simple-hearted devotees, Choose your field wisely, Prabhuji. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam today, 5th canto. Okay, chapter 6th, the activities of Lord Rishabdev. And today's shloka is Rishir Uvacha. Now, who could tell to whom they are referring as Rishi here? Oh, Prabhuji. Yes.
Maharaj Parikshit speaking to him.
Right.
He said something. Okay.
Correct. So everyone heard that, right? Maharaj Parikshit is asking Srila Sukadeva Goswami, let us recite the shloka. It is text 2 today. Yeah. Rishiruvacha Satyamuktam kintva ihava Ekena manasodha vishrambham Anavasthanasya satha kirata Anavasthanasya satha Kirata iva sangachante Kirata iva sangachante Rishiruvacha Satyamuktam kintva ihava Ekena manasodha vishrambham Anavasthanasya satha Kirata iva sangachante Rishiruvacha Satyamuktam kintva ihava Ekena manasodha vishrambham Anavasthanasya satha Kirata iva sangachante. Prabhuji's Rishiruvacha Satyamuktam kintva iha Va ekena manasodha Vishrambham anavasthanasya Satha kirata iva sangachante. Rishiruvacha Satyam uktvam kintva ihava Ekena manasodha vishrambham Anavasthanasya satha Kirata iva sangachante. Prabhuji's ऋषिरुवाचा Satyamuktam kintva iha Vaikena manasodha Vishrambham anavasthanasya Satha kirata iva sangachante. Mothers, Rishiruvacha Satyamuktam kintva ihava Ekena manasodha Vishrambham Anavasthanasya satha Kirata iva sangachante. Rishiruvacha Satyamuktam kintvihava Ekena manasodha Vishrambham Anavasthanasya satha Kirata iva sangachante. Rishiruvacha Satyamuktam kintva ihava Ekena manasodha Vishrambham Anavasthanasya satha kirata Iva sangachante. Thank you everyone. So let us chant our prayers and then we read further. Please join everyone. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshulun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadanti Shwapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadavaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Di Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Word to word translation is as follows. Rishiya Uvacha. Sukadev Goswami said, Satyam, the correct thing. Uktam, have said. Kintu, but. Iha, in this material world. Va, either. Eke, some. Na, not. Manasah, of the mind. Adha, directly. Vishrambham,
Something about Krishna, right? It's one of Krishna's names. Vishambhara?
It's Vishwambhar. Yeah, Vishwambhar. This is Vishrambham. Right, faithful. Yeah. Anavasthanasya, being unsteady. Satha, Satha. What is this? Shatha. Let me read Sanskrit. It is Shatha. Exactly. Very cunning. Kirataha, a hunter. Eva, like. Sanga chante, become. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. Srila Sukadev Goswami replied, My dear king, you have spoken correctly. However, after capturing animals, a cunning hunter does not put faith in them, for they might run away. Similarly, those who are advanced in spiritual life do not put faith in the mind. Indeed, they always remain vigilant and watch the mind's actions. Yeah. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita 18.5, Lord Krishna says,
I don't know what he says anything offhand.
Yagya dana tapah karma na tyajyam karyam eva tat yagyodanam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. That is the sloka, 18.5. I also didn't know. Acts of sacrifice, charity and penance are not to be given up but should be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity and penance purify even the great souls. Even one who has renounced the world and has taken sannyas should not renounce chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Renunciation does not mean that one has to renounce Sankirtan Yagya. Similarly, one should not renounce charity or tapasya. The yoga system for control of the mind and senses must be strictly followed. Lord Rishabhadev showed how severe types of tapasya could be performed, and he set an example for all others. Translation. Once again. Srila Sukadev Goswami replied, My dear king, you have spoken correctly. Would you like to repeat this? Yeah. Srila Sukadev Goswami replied, My dear king, you have spoken correctly. However, after capturing animals, A cunning hunter does not put faith in them, for they might run away. Similarly, those who are advanced in spiritual life do not put faith in the mind. Indeed, they always remain vigilant and watch the mind's action. So Srila Prabhupada comments on this in very detailed. Prabhupada gave a wonderful class on this shloka in Shri Vrindavan Dham again. And Prabhupada says, so first of all, Prabhupada says that one must prove that he is trustworthy. Yeah? Then we can accept him as trustworthy. Our mind is not fixed up. The mind is very restless. Which shloka? From Bhagavad Gita, which shloka says the mind is restless?
It's easier to control the wind than the
Yeah, true. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna, pramathi balavad dhridam. Yeah? So, this is the right example. You know? And Prabhupada quotes, just like Haridas Thakur. So he was competent enough, Mukta Purusha, but still he was chanting regularly. How many times he was chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day? 300,000. 3 lakh names. That goes how many rounds, Prabhuji? Right. Names, yes. That goes how many rounds, Prabhuji? 92. 192 rounds every day. Yeah. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says to Haridas Thakur, Srila Haridas, now you have become old man. You can reduce the number. But he didn't do that. He didn't do that. He still kept chanting his rounds, you know. Who has visited Jagannath Puri? Jagannath Puri. Okay. So, which place was the one where Haridas Thakur used to chant? Shri Shri Vijay Gauranga Doyal Nitai Bhagavan Ki. Yeah. So, does someone know under which place Srila Haridas Thakur used to chant his rounds in Jagannath Puri? It's a tree, very famous tree. I'll tell the second name. Siddha Bakul. Correct. Siddha Bakul. There is a tree, Siddha Bakul tree, where the tree is still there. So, under which Srila Haridas Thakur used to sit and chant his 192 rounds. Yeah. Raghunath Das Goswami especially, he was very strict in the matter of following the regulative principles. Yeah. Now he was a very rich man's son. If you read the pastime of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, so he was from a very rich family. Yeah. But he left everything and came to Vrindavan, and he lived a very austere life. So he practiced very rigidly Vairagya. Yeah. Bhakti Yoga means Vairagya. Prabhupada says, as far as possible to deny material necessities, that is Vairagya. It is called Vairagya Vidya. Srila Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya has said, Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yogam Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela. Vairagya Vidya. So Bhakti Yoga means Vairagya. Yeah. No more any necessity for material things. What does it mean? What does it mean, Matajis? So Prabhupada says that Bhakti Yoga means Vairagya. Vairagya means, what does Vairagya means? Yeah, how does it translate in English exactly? It's like to give it up, renunciation. Yeah, Vairagya means renunciation. And Srila Prabhupada, if he's saying that Vairagya, Bhakti Yoga involves renunciation, and Prabhupada says that renunciation of material things. So what does it mean exactly?
To engage everything in service to God.
True. Ultimate answer. Yeah. Irina Mataji?
Same.
Same. Okay. Mothers are very, very glorious. True, Mataji. To engage, we misunderstand. We may misunderstand that to give up everything. Yeah. So we all know this example actually. Once upon a time, so someone came to Srila Prabhupada and then said, we saw a big billboard, saying that there was a yogi, and who was painted like this, and all the material stuff was shown, and he was like, he's detached, he's not at all interested in that, And Srila Prabhupada says, make a similar painting of mine with everything, all the same things, but like this. So, because Srila Prabhupada, he sees everything as the property of Krishna, and hence he wants to use everything for the pleasure of Krishna. Yeah, just like Nandu said, the festival of Holi, it represents, it signifies that all the Vrajavasis, they hankers to bring or to give pleasure to Radha and Krishna. Yeah, so that is the mood of all the Vrajavasis, and our goal is that to become the servant of 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 the pure devotees of Krishna. That means we also develop that mood. Yeah, that means doesn't matter we are super rich or super duper rich or simple person, with some belongings. Everything that we possess, first of all, we understand everything belongs to Krishna. Yeah, and everything should be offered to Krishna, and everything should be used or utilized only for the pleasure of Krishna or for giving the pleasure to the Krishna. Now the question was asked by His Holiness Krishna Kshetra Maharaj to His Holiness Sachinandan Maharaj. Nandu will say, what was the question? You remember? You were there in the front row, Prabhuji. Nanda Kumar has very special affection by His Holiness Sachinandan Maharaj because Prabhuji's father and Sachinandan Maharaj are very close friends. So, and Maharaj made him sit in the front row. Well, the question was asked by His Holiness Krishna Kshetra Maharaj to Sachinandan Maharaj is that, can everything be offered to Krishna? What do you say?
No.
What could Maharaj would have answered?
I think no.
Mataji says no. Why not, Mataji?
I think the things must be pure. What you offer must be pure.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe not everything is pure you offer to Krishna.
Right. Okay. One view. How about others? What do you all think on this?
Well, at least I think I've read and I think I've heard as well that everything can be offered in the service of Krishna.
Could you justify your answer, Prabhuji?
Well, because of scripture.
True.
Yeah, because everything belongs to Krishna. There's nothing in our experience that is outside of Krishna's energy. Because everything is a part of his energy. And everything has a purpose. And actually what is difficult is to understand why sometimes things which are unfortunate are happening to people. But this world is a place of reform. We are being reformed in this world. And that reforming process means learning what not to do. And sometimes learning what not to do is not very comfortable.
Yes. Thank you. Prabhuji?
I just want to comment something also, what I hear from Prabhupada, that gave also that example one time with alcohol, that when you drink alcohol but at the same time think at Krishna, then you will also become pure, but this substance is impure, but when you think about Krishna, it's not like the direct offering to the deities, so but it's kind of you do it, but you're never Krishna at the same time.
Was it the Shilpa's words or some?
Yeah, it was an example by Srila Prabhupada what he gave, that when you drink alcohol at the same time think about Krishna.
Yeah, magically all your points, all the 3 points, Maharaj answered in the sequence. What Maharaj gave answer, so that included these 3 points, and that too in the same sequence actually. Surprised. Yeah, Prabhu?
So this, I think I heard that out of all our impurities or bad qualities. Only envy cannot be used in Krishna service.
Right. So we'll discuss this. Mothers, please. Yeah, Mataji's.
Srila Prabhu explained in his lecture once that at the end of the day we have to offer to Krishna everything what we did, even either good or bad thing. We have to offer.
Okay.
If we don't offer the bad things, then it will not. We will have to have reactions for that.
Okay. Thank you. Mataji? Okay, so what Maharaj answered? Yeah, Maharaj explained first of all different quotations. So, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Maharaj was explaining, yeah, that we can be Krishna conscious everywhere and anywhere. Even while taking bath, if we chant Krishna's holy names, yeah, we can still be Krishna conscious. We can be Krishna conscious all the time. Even to such a degraded place like toilet, while cleaning the body, if we, while passing stool, yeah, even if that place, if we chant Krishna's name, yeah. So just imagine, Maharaj was quoting then that example that once upon a time, Maharaj was in UK, right? Yeah. There was a program, Srila Prabhupada was giving lecture and Maharaj was given responsibility to take care of the prasadam. It's called Vishnu Tattva that time. So to take care of the prasadam and save it from people to come and just grab it, before the program. So he was given that responsibility. And there were a big line of drunkards that were leaning on the wall waiting for the prasadam. And then Maharaj was hearing the lecture of Srila Prabhupada from outside. And Prabhupada said, even the drunkard can become the topmost yogis, And then Prabhupada quotes that if a drunkard thinks that the taste of the wine is Krishna, yeah. So in that way, from his level, he can start his Krishna consciousness, yeah. And Maharaj but comments very gravely, that doesn't mean that we go down to that level and do that. It's just the people who are trapped and who are not able to come out. So Prabhupada meant that anyone at any level could become Krishna conscious by offering what they are doing. And Maharaj comments that except for envy, one could offer everything in the service of Krishna. So, yeah, envy cannot be offered. Everything else, just like Prabhuji said, it's a place to reform here. So, that's how we reform, by offering it to Krishna. Yeah. Okay, so, but there is a big class actually. I mean, if someone is interested, Prabhupada gave, on Srimad Bhagavatam 5.6.2 in Vrindavan, 24th November 1976. So, the big class on this, you could read if someone is interested. Yeah. Any questions? Any comments? Prabhuji, sorry.
I mean, actually, I really like this comment you made about the envy. And you elaborated on it. I've heard this before. It makes complete sense. But is there like a scriptural, there must be a scriptural reference for that, right?
Probably.
I mean, I believe it. I know it must be true.
I think I have only heard it twice in lectures actually. I don't really know the reference point.
I also heard often in lectures only, Prabhuji, mostly. Yeah.
I've heard this before also. I know there must be some place where it's written. Maybe it's not there. In the spiritual world, they don't have envy.
True. Very true. Yes. Okay. So, if no questions, then we finish it here today. Yeah. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.